Okay, I know that I said that I would be working on the hall for the next little while, making sure that that's all good and proper. But I've just come up with this idea that I really want to try, and it's kind of dumb. But I've kind of been itching to do something fun, so I want to try it out, just to be silly. Now, I imagine I'm gonna need a lot more space than this, but I also want this thing's gonna be kind of high in the air, but I just need a sort of bottom platform, and then it'll be kind of going up, I think. So I've thought for a while, ever since they added the cactus flowers, that the traditional sort of cactus farms, the really easy ones where they just have, you know, something next to a cactus because it breaks off, doesn't quite work anymore, because at some point this flower is going to grow on that and then it's just going to stop growing. I mean, I'm sure people have moved on to just having a flying machine or something of the like, but I was trying to think of ways to do it, and somehow along the way, instead of thinking of a good proper cactus farm idea, instead I sort of came up with a way to make a little mini game. Just to be silly, I guess. Now I'm building it out of red wool because I have a lot of wool just from the spider farm, and I have a lot of red because of the iron farm. I'll maybe come up with something prettier to do later. Now I'm gonna need to go and get all of my redstone stuff and some other things to get it started. I'm gonna build a platform probably here up so I can see that a bit level, and also some more red flowers, which unfortunately I just composted about 5 stacks of the red flowers, so that, because I thought I had too many, they were clogging up my iron farm, but now I'm regretting it because I'm using so much red. Okay, I'm gonna go get that stuff and do the first little bit. Okay, I brought all this stuff back. I had to go mining for a bit to get redstone. I got a fair amount now, so that's good. Unfortunately, there wasn't many poppies in the iron farm, but we'll make do. Basically, my idea is pretty simple. I want to have, I think, sort of floating cactuses all around. And then near the cactuses, I want target blocks that I'll have to shoot from the platform that I'll make high up so I can see them properly. Let me sleep first. Okay, so I'm gonna have the platform high and then have all the cactuses there. And when I shoot the target block, it'll push a piston to be extended next to the cactuses so they break. Now, this, contrary to what I said about me thinking of this when trying to come up with a way to get around the cactus flower plan, this won't actually solve the cactus flower. So I'll have to come up with something else to deal with that. This is completely off the side, something else that I just wanted to do. Nothing to do with a productive farm, just thought it'd be fun. They even follow me here! Go away! Now that's not the only thing. It's not going to be just hitting the pistons, or hitting the target blocks and having the pistons knock the cactus off. I want it to be gamified a bit, so that you have to get a certain amount of cactuses in a certain time limit, and if you do, you can go on to the second level. and each level I'm going to have it be slightly different. So this will be the first one. It'll be pretty simple. I'll have a platform here, stand cactuses, and have that. And then when you go on to the next one, it'll be something like maybe there's a platform all the way around it and they have to do different things. Maybe I'll have it so certain target blocks, you have to get them dead center in order to have the piston extend, so on and so on. And each time it gets harder and you have to get more. I'm a little bit excited because I've been brainstorming on how to do this. I don't typically like looking up tutorials on how to do a lot of this stuff, so this is mostly just me having messed around and figured something out. It probably would hurt any actual redstoner's brain, but I'm gonna give it a go anyway. Okay, we have our first small thing in a very bad layout. Just the unloading system. So the items will come in, and then after the time runs out in the game, the minecart will come along and there'll be some stuff in here, but the minecart is not powered. Minecart will come up and it'll stay unpowered until that's empty, and then it'll leave. It's gotten dark and gloomy just in time for me to put water right above all the redstone I just did. Oh, that's not good. Let's not do that. That's called a reverse bucket clutch. Oh my gosh, I've made this the wrong size. Okay, I'm gonna do a simple test of the game. If it works, this should get kicked off. Alright. So I'm gonna do a temper, just a easy start, and then I'm gonna chuck, I believe it's 10 items into the pool, and that should make that sand move. Oh, but I gotta be quick, I forgot how short the timer is. Probably failed. Just chuck a bunch in there. Oh, there we go. Cool, alright. So now I need to hook up this with the platform that'll be over here. And then put the cactuses on, and that'll be the first level? All of this is so ugly. Okay, so I just spent a little time moving the circuitry because I didn't like how much it jutted out, and I thought, I'm like, oh, I'll live with it, I'll cover it, but then I went, why do that? I was just being lazy, so I decided to move it over underneath instead so I can cover it up. Everything should be about the same, it's just in a different position. And I also built the platform. The platform's pretty small, but I did have the idea that I can have these towers up, that I can travel up in order to get better vantage points. There's gonna be more, cactuses as well. And obviously there's much better advantage the higher up you go because you can see more. Might make this one taller so I can see some of the hidden ones. But the disadvantage to going up the towers is that it takes time, and obviously this is a time-based challenge. So in the like 3-4 seconds it takes you to get up here, that's 3-4 seconds you lost trying to get more cactus. A really simple idea, but yeah. And I've just come up with a way that actually does help with the whole cactus flower situation. I don't know why I didn't think of it before. I'm just going to be moving the pistons so they're facing down, so they'll always hit that top one. It does mean that the cactus is never going to get higher than 2 blocks, but it will mean that I'll always get rid of the thing on top. And I guess that makes for good randomization as well, because if I try and it's got, out of, I don't know, 15 cactuses, if I have 10 of them that have cactus flower, then that's bad luck. I doubt that would happen, that'd be crazy. Oh, you're watching me. So now, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to fix up the cactuses that I've just put out and add more, because I'm gonna have them up high and floating. And yeah, and then after that I will hook up the star up here, so I'll have a button I can press, maybe here or just on the ground. And that'll start off the game. I can try it. That'll be the first level, hopefully. Alright, let's get to it. Okay, I've done a little bit more on everything here. As you probably saw, I've kind of gone back and forth on some ideas. I put a start button up there, made a big chain up to it, then decided that I didn't like it, and I put a start button there instead. But now I'm actually wondering if I even like it there, so I'm having another idea. I was going to have the door here that you go through to get to the next station, but I do think I'm going to move it back over here. And to hide the redstone for the door there, I'm going to instead have this come down to the ground and then hide it within this bigger platform here. This Freddy Krueger looking cover, it's a really poor facade. I'm still working on getting all the coloured wool, and it'll all be hidden inside. The game is actually pretty difficult. I've tested it a few times and obviously there's lots of issues with it. Because the water collection point is so small, it's hard to add in enough cactuses that I think I have it set to you need 10 to get to the next section currently, but because there's so many things in the way, often they'll break off and they'll fall onto these blocks and just float there, or they'll fall onto the edges or everything. But I also have a pretty short timer. See, that one fell down there. And I had wanted it to be hard anyway, because that's sort of the fun of it. But it does make a pretty poor farm. So you can see if I aim here. Oh, I want to put in a light to show that the game is actually on, because at the moment, because I've hidden the redstone, I can't actually tell if the game is on. In an ideal world, I'd also like to add some music to it. It's a slightly tedious process. But now I'm gonna move it around and then probably start the next section, which will be here. I actually have to go to the hole again to see if there's any leftover glowstone. I might have to steal some actually. This is what they call reverse progress. It is a nice room. I am gonna return to it. I'm just momentarily distracted. I promise. Sometimes ideas just grip in your brain and you decide you just have to build them right then and there. Okay, I've done a little more. I've waited for it to grow. Now, hopefully I'm going to try really hard to get this to work so we can see what happens when you complete it. Takes a moment to turn on, and there we go. Come on. I'm going to cheat again. Come on. I lowered it. I should only have to get 5. Time's still running. That's all of them. I gotta have gotten 5 by now, yeah? Oh, I think it was sitting up. Gosh. Okay, it's grown again. And I hope to all the gods that it actually works this time. Okay. Please. Okay, let's give this one last go. Hopefully it works. Takes a moment to start. There we go. Come on. There we go. Ah, brilliant. Okay. I've forgotten that obviously that won't be attached. But the little tune went off. And I need to move it so the piston is one higher, and then that will go down. That's brilliant. So that means you can let through. Amazing. Okay. It looks like it's on fire now. So, if I move that one down and clean up the rest of this, that would be stage 1 complete. Also this. Pretty much is just decorative on the first stage. And I can move on to the second stage. So it looks a little bit weird at the moment. And it's going to be a little bit different. Instead of having the piles of cactus here, like this one, instead, this is going to be a wall with single cactuses lined up all the way around. And it's going to be a minecart trip. So here should be a minecart, and you get in and it takes you on the ride, and you have to shoot. Why did it just do that? I don't know why that went off. I'm gonna ignore it for now. Ah! Yeah, so this will take you on a little trip, and you only have as long as the trip lasts to go around, and it'll end over there. And if you have enough cactuses collected by the time you get to the end, it'll open up the next door. Okay, I've done a lot of it all at once. Because I spent so long on all that. That I just got this done. I pretty much have just built it. It's still the basics in the moment. Also, my game is really framey and I can't figure out why. It's the pretty standard sort of game. You travel along and you have to try hit the targets, and everything gets pushed down here into the collection point. I do have this sort of current setup to collect all of the cactus, but I just had an issue where any cactus flowing from basically here just gets stuck. And so I unfortunately might have to replace this with a giant line of hoppers maybe, which might be annoying, but I don't know what else to do about that. Otherwise, I haven't done any of the other redstone for it for the number of cactus that I need to get, but I have found one major flaw, which is pretty simple. I'll show you right now. It goes sort of fast. It's really hard to... And if the targets were bigger, then it might not be such an issue, and it might be just like a learning curve, because you might just be preempting all of the targets. But because they're all pretty small and hidden, my idea had been that you go slow and you have to get one at a time, and I had the idea that you would get a lot of them. But now I'm feeling that I need to change this. It might not be a minecart, it might not be as simple as thinking. Instead, I'm gonna try out some other options just to see what might go a bit slower. I might have to stay with the minecarts. Who knows? This project is getting to be a lot more lengthy than I thought it was going to be. I'd originally thought this video was going to be a really short one, and I was fine with that, but now it's actually looking to be quite long. I don't quite know when to stop, honestly. It looks hideous, so that's for one. Okay, I've changed it slightly. I did put the hoppers in, like I thought I might, because then it'll definitely be collected. And I've added in these water things, which it doesn't slow it down a ton, but it does slow it down at least a little bit. So it still shoots very much to the left, but I'm learning to kind of counteract it. But it's good. It gives a sort of level of difficulty and a learning curve. So I might have the cactus level on this one be pretty high, so that I probably have to learn it a bit before I'm able to progress. Especially since I don't think I'll get to the next level at all right now. I'd have to polish everything up, these two. Interestingly, even though I have significantly more redstone in this part of the game, this one seems to feel more like a game. I guess because the timer is almost built in, it just takes one loop. If I can, I'm gonna get around to some decorating for this, but otherwise I'm just gonna do a few more things, and like the counting system and everything, and then that should be done. Obviously the whole thing requires a lot of polishing, but I will hopefully do that now if I can, or otherwise later on. I've done a lot more testing and stuff, and I think I've got something that's pretty sound. And I think I'm finally ready for my first proper test of the whole game. I hope it works. Let's go. Oh, there we go. Through the door. And this part is not on the same timer as that or anything. It's self-contained within itself. The timer is just the loop around. So I pop in here, start, and then I've really learnt that you have to go very much to the side because of the movement. Some of these haven't grown. Ah. Oh! I think I got it though. Maybe? Oh no. Okay. So I didn't get that one. It's just slightly too far. I have it set. I have this one set to more cactus as well. That you have to get in because it's so much bigger and sort of in a way simpler. I might... Oh, I've lost my minecart. So let's have another go, see if I can get this one. Okay. I failed pretty miserably here. But the idea is, just like the other game, if you get enough cactus, that goes off, and you can progress to the next level. It is also a slightly better farm than the other one because there's so much more cactus to be getting. This one turned out a lot more smoothly than this one, other than a few kinks with the speed. I think the speed that we're currently going is a lot better, thankfully. There's also a lot more space I have to work with underneath. Obviously it's not covered with anything, so it looks just as ugly as that one does. But overall, I'm really happy with how these turned out. This has turned into a much longer project than I thought it was going to be. I thought this was going to be a really short thing. I guess that's just how redstone goes. But it's been fun trying to work it all out. My whole mess. I think next time I'll probably go back to doing the trading hall, but I would like to continue working on this. It's a fun little game to be doing in the meantime. So if you like this at all, then let me know. It's been fun trying to learn it, how everything works. So thank you anyway. And bye bye.